Alrighty, so this is the 16th video of the Maybe series and the 9th under enterprise value and equity value. And in this video, we're going to be covering, can enterprise value or equity value be negative? And this is a question that a number of folks have gotten, so let me kind of walk you through it, right? Well, let's write out the formula for equity value again and for enterprise value again. We know that the formula for equity value is the number of shares outstanding, right? The number of shares that are out there in the open market times the price per share, right? So let's look at that. Can the number of shares that are outstanding at any given point in time be negative? No, right? It's a number between 0 and infinity, right? I mean, there's always going to be some number that's a positive number of the number of shares that are out there in the market, right? So this has to be a positive. Now, can the price per share ever be negative? No, right? The price can go to 0, right? But again, I mean, the price is going to be between 0 and infinity, right? So the price per share can never be negative either, right? And what do we know if we multiply two positive numbers? That means that the result is always going to be a positive number. So we can conclude that equity value can never be negative, right? So this is kind of our conclusion here, right? Now let's look at enterprise value. Right, well, enterprise value is equivalent to equity value plus the debt amount minus our cash amount, right? So let's think about this, right? Well, we know that equity value has to be positive, right? The amount of debt is going to be positive, right? And the cash amount is also going to be positive, right? But the problem here is that we have a minus here, right? So is it theoretically possible that cash is greater than equity value plus debt? Theoretically, this is possible, right? So let's put some numbers to it so that it makes a bit of sense, right? Well, let's say that equity value is 100, debt is 100, and let's say that cash is 300, right? Well, in this scenario, right, it's probably a very distressed company, right? But in this scenario, our enterprise value is going to be negative 100. So because of that, right, we say that theoretically, so in theory, enterprise value can be negative, right? So this is a can be negative, right? So that's essentially the thought process behind it. At the end of the day, if you understand the formulas, you can kind of come to that conclusion by yourself even. But I did want to make a separate video about that just so it's really, really clear, right? So we know that equity value can never be negative. We know that enterprise value can be negative, right? So I hope that's been helpful. We'll hop into the next one.